R. Kelly.
Oh man, tough.
What are your thoughts on this? Like he's gonna do like some serious time. He was convicted on all counts. Is there a second like can you as like a man can you redeem yourself when it has to do with like mistreating like kids, you know?
Well, this is how I see it. I believe that God makes no mistakes. People can debate back and forth all day, but if it's happening to him, it's supposed to happen to him for whatever reason. That's God's reasons of why it's going down. Now, that's something that he has to have within himself to re-evaluate his whole life way of being. Because to get caught up in a situation like that, whatever happens between him and God. So there is always a way to redeem yourself, but you have to first accept the fact that you're wrong or you're in a position for that particular purpose of why you're being there in the first place. People aren't here to hate each other for a reason. Like, everyone's going to make a mistake and everyone has the right to redeem themselves from those mistakes. Like, even him, he has the right to try to make right by those he hurt. And then the people that he hurt also have the right to decide if they want to forgive him. But me personally, I believe that not forgiving people only puts you in more pain. Like, forgiveness is this restraint. You got to be able to let all that go and just put that in the hands of the Lord and let everything work out the way it's supposed to.
Remember when all this went down? There was the huge debate of, can you listen to R. Kelly no more? You know, you're like, R. Kelly's canceled. Where are we now with that, with this conviction?
I mean, at the end of the day, you cannot deny his talent. You can't deny his talent. I mean, he's one of the greatest R&B artists, writers, producers that came on this business. You can't take that away from him. Now, who he is as a person, that we're not to be the ones to judge either, because we weren't there. So, like I said, the only person that can help himself is him, and what happened is between him and God and the victim.
The mogul spoke about Kelly's conviction, saying that the singer has the right to try to make right by those he hurt. His controversial takes on pop culture and politics often cause a bit of a stir, and Akon's recent comments about R. Kelly's conviction follow suit. The international mogul is well respected for his business moves, including building a city in Uganda, but sometimes the public doesn't agree with his assessments of hot topics. I'll say this. You can't always go what the public wants, and you're not always going to say what the public wants to hear. And that's what makes you an individual. That what makes you a person. And I will say this, too many times the public wants a slave instead of a person. They're a fan of your music, a fan of whatever, but then they want to be your master. And that's what I see with people who are famous. The fans want you to be, a slave to them. That's what it is. Akon stated that rich people have it harder than poor people, defended Tekashi 6ix9ine, and worked on music with him, and said he decided not to sign Drake. He sounded like Eminem. Now, Akon is giving his thoughts on R. Kelly's conviction. Akon was recently stopped by a TMZ camera person and asked about his thoughts regarding Kelly and if he believes if redemption could be in the singer's future. Believe that God makes no mistakes. People can debate back and forth all day, but if it's happening to him, it's happening to him for whatever reason, said Akon. Now that's something that he has to have within himself to reevaluate his whole life, his way of being, because to get caught up in a situation like that, whatever happens between him and God. There's always a way to redeem yourself, but you have to first accept that the fact that you are wrong. He went on to say that people aren't here to hate and mistakes will be made. He has the right to redeem himself for those mistakes, even him. He has a right to try to make right by those he hurt. Akon added that those people who have allegedly been hurt by Kelly also have the right not to forgive him. But in his opinion, unforgiveness also increases the pain. As for canceling Kelly and no longer listening to his music is concerned, Akon said, at the end of the day, you cannot deny his talent. Well, a lot of people are going to say that because he's a musician. People do like his music. People do like his way of doing things. And in black culture, they've been listening to people like this for decades. Many people have been listening to, regardless of their being black, have been listening to R. Kelly, and people like him for decades. You got Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke has been allegedly been known to deal with Aretha Franklin. And Aretha Franklin was at least 12 years old at the time. And the way she talks about Sam Cooke is like they had a romantic relationship. Okay? Aretha Franklin, you talking about a thought, she got around. Okay? There's a lot of things people, they don't want to talk about Aretha Franklin. I'm going to talk about her. Okay? There's a lot of things that the music industry, the music produced by people are usually people who have come from screwed up, messed up backgrounds, or they're horrible people. But people still like their music for what they produced. Or they're troubled souls. Aretha Franklin, troubled soul. And her father brought her in, groomed her for the sex cult. Father was a preacher. Father had a church on top and a sex cult on the bottom of the church. Ray Charles used to talk about it. Talk about those Christians wild, man. She dated a pimp. Married to one, I think. Okay. And this is the woman that many black women look up to in the singing industry. If you see how Aretha Franklin was dressed back in the day, you would be calling her a thought. You would be calling her a thought. She was not a good role model to young black women in her generation. She was not. Okay? She lives such a how do you say? Colorful history that she wanted none of it to be printed. None of it to be known. Been through men like water. Going through men like water. But yet, she is looked upon as a woman of respect. Okay? That's the thing. Even though she is not a good role model for women. She's not. But they're still looked upon as, you see, people have a selective outrage. That's what I'm seeing. Misunderstood still comment on tweets. Somebody tell Akon that being a serial rapist is not a mistake. Okay, true. However, you still got probably your relatives listening to James Brown who beat the crap out of women. Okay. Yet, you're still going to listen to James Brown. This R. Kelly stuff is showing the true colors out of people. Yeah, I agree. I agree that there's a lot of black people that are going for R. Kelly, supporting him, even though this man is a pedo. But unfortunately, this is something that's been going on in the black community. Akon is not saying that this man should, R. Kelly should be let go and free to do his business. He's saying the fact that he's being caught. He's being punished for what he's doing. And saying God has a hand in it. I can't knock that because R. Kelly's getting his just desserts. He's getting his just desserts. And a lot of black people like him because he has talent. They want him to be, they want R. Kelly to be free. And the funny thing is like, if it was somebody, if he did this to your kids, you wouldn't want that. It's sad, but this is what goes on in the black community as well. Protecting pedophiles and predators. Akon believes R. Kelly should be given a chance to redeem himself, making things right with men, women, and boys he abused. Well, I will say this. I hope he don't mean him being free, because sometimes these people, they're slick with their tongue. I will say that. I'll digress. People like this, they be slick with their tongue. Is he serious? He's acting like R. Kelly stepped on someone's foot and forgot to say, I'm sorry. This man is beyond redeeming himself. He had over 20 years to do, and he has chosen not to. Akon needs to shut up. I'll say this. Maybe this prison sentence, this life sentence he's going to be doing, that may be his time to do redemption. He ain't getting out. He's not getting out. That's the thing. Okay, Akon, you could go with R. Kelly since you're taking up for him so bad. We do know about you and your underage girl problems. Whoa. He does. Whew. TMZ. So William S.B. Smith says, so in a nutshell, what Akon is saying is that R. Kelly should be careful with ladies. Careful is not the word. You should only be dating ladies. That's the thing. But he's not going to be doing that anymore. Do I think the victims need to forgive him? They're going to have to. But R. Kelly needs to spend the rest of his life in prison. That's it. He needs to spend the rest of his life in prison. That's it. He needs to. Okay? Too many times you got black people wanting to defend R. Kelly, wanting him to be free. I remember reading in a Facebook group, a black woman made in a comment section, he should be free. I said, he's a predator. What's wrong with you? I think I told her to shut up too. Because it's crazy. And this is why the black community looks like a joke, because you'll defend these predators because they have a talent. That's it. They have a talent. That's it. You'll defend Bill Cosby because he has a talent. But if there's a regular black people on the street, who did this stuff, who didn't have a talent, you'd want them locked up. So this is why it's like selective outrage. And this nonsense got to stop. Because this is the reason why you have blacks who want to save up and get the hell out of the black community and don't look back. That's how they think. They want to get out of Blackistan. Because the black community is lost. And don't want to do right. Talk about white supremacy all day, but won't talk about the supremacy done by other blacks, or what other blacks allow other blacks to do to other blacks, even their own kids, and then say because he has a talent, because he's a respectable member of the cloth, a respectable member of the family, we're going to let this go and slide because we just like this individual, male or female, because you got female predators too. But other than that, the forgiveness, the victims do need to, because if you don't forgive this person's just living rent-free in your head. Rent-free in your head. So I do agree with that. That's all I got to say about this. Tell me what you think in the comments. What do you think about what Akon has said about this? What are your thoughts about this? What are your thoughts? Have you had to deal with this situation where you had to forgive somebody that has harmed you in order to move on? Do you believe a person that's wronged you has a right to redemption? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Later. You can also check me out on Anchor. You can check me out on Podbean. Let me know in the comments. Later. Anchor.fm.